Now, Jacob Zuma's utterances about the Zondo Commission and the Constitutional Court have been labelled intolerable, and he's going to jail for refusing to appear before the Commission. But what about the legal team behind him? Have they misled him? Well, let's speak to political analyst Professor Sethulego Matebesi, who seems to think so, and he joins us now live. Prof, thank you so much for making time. Do you believe that the former president was misled by his legal team?
No, well, to a large extent, I'm a sociologist and not a legal guru, but I mean, somewhere along the line, this game, legal game, if I can call it like that, would have to come to an end. And quite surprisingly, yet another attempt today, serious allegations that they are trying to now at least, playing some delaying tactics. But the question is, you've got a president who should have shown leadership. And that's where I come from the side for the benefit of the South African citizens. Jacob Zuma, when he said, yes, it's his democratic right to do what he's been doing, but this is not what you expect from a former leader. And even during his tenure, I don't think that is what you expect of a president. He should have at least afforded the courts to make a judge, at least afford him also to state his case. But this is what has become of Jacob Zuma. That's how we know it. Each time when he's in a corner, he tries something else. And I strongly believe that a lot of commentators have just been talking about the president. But the question is, what about the credibility of his legal team? And I wanted to be very cautious because up to this far, the question is, have they done wrong? But I think for me, where I think they have gone horribly wrong is when they advised the president to work out on the Zondo Commission. That act in itself was a huge denouncement of democracy.
Can we put the responsibility, though, Prof, on the legal team and not necessarily the president? I mean, the legal team can only do so much, right? They can advise you that as the former president, as the client, we advise you to comply with the order of the Constitutional Court. We advise you to comply with the summons of the state capture inquiry. But as a client, if I choose, I do not want to, and I instruct them to approach this matter in a particular way, they are hired by me as a client. So they will have to go in that way unless they decide to walk away.
That's where I come in. I mean, this has been going on, and what we as sociologists do, we want to find out, but what are these underlying motivations that keeps on motivating the president to do what he has been doing? And to a certain extent, one should also look at his legal team. You are correct. At the end of the day, it's the individual. You're not going to courts and say, but no, this is a stance of my legal team. At the end of the day, the legal team are actually advancing your needs in a court of law. But there should also be questions about the role that have been played by his legal team. At one stage, there have been many cases where, lawyers will just walk away from the client if they don't agree with him. But in this instance, yes, the blame should be laid solely on the door of the president, but one should also look at all these other shenanigans going around the president, the former president.
Prof, thank you so much for coming through. Political analyst Professor Sethulego Matebesi.